The judge understands that the law is a genuine intellectual enterprise and that it's a search for truth. But an important part of that truth is that the law is there to serve people. And that's how it's formulated, and that's how it has to be interpreted, and that's how it has to be applied.
There are very few legal generalists, people who've mastered broad swaths of the law and bring enormous expertise to bear, and she is one of them. She was one of the first women law clerks on the Supreme Court, and then she spent a few years as an attorney in the Office of Legal Counsel in the U.S. Department of Justice.
And then she became an absolutely first-rate judge, one of the best Court of Appeals judges in the country.
Judge Wood was also on President Obama's short list for the Supreme Court 2 separate times, once in 2009 and once in 2010. We were all so proud of Diane.
She dealt with that situation of being one of the rare women at that level in the legal profession without ever breaking a sweat.
Judge Diane Wood has been a trailblazer for women in the Seventh Circuit.
She was the third University of Chicago professor to join the Seventh Circuit during a period of roughly a decade. The perception at the time was that Posner and Easterbrook were these very conservative professors on to become very conservative judges, and that Diane Wood was the liberal professor on her way to becoming a relatively liberal judge.
She's often considered as the counterweight to Judge Posner and Judge Easterbrook. I think of that as sort of a misconception of her role on the court. I didn't think of her as necessarily a counterweight to those judges. They often agreed.
Seventh Circuit advocates referred to the panel of Easterbrook, Posner, and Wood as the panel from hell, and that's a compliment. It spoke to the level of intelligence, ambition, and diligence of all 3 members of that panel, and the excitement and challenge that the practitioner would face in the oral argument.
I came to the Seventh Circuit in 2018 when Diane was serving as the chief judge. She showed her strong leadership with us. She was extremely respectful to all of us, and she was such an effective communicator in her low-key style.
Judge Wood is very well known in the relevant communities for being real serious to a commitment to diversity in hiring law clerks. And by relevant communities, I mean the students who are interested in clerking.
At the time my mother joined the University of Chicago Law School faculty in 1981, she was not the first woman to be a professor there, but at the time she was the only woman to be a professor there. 14 years later, when she joined the Seventh Circuit in 1995, she was not the first woman, but she was only the second woman to be nominated and confirmed to that court. And I think that experience of being either a lone voice or one of few voices has really shaped the way she sees and values diversity.
She was the first woman who became chief judge of the circuit. We were all so proud of her.
She's really about uplifting voices that are going to inform the law. That has been, I think, one great part of her judicial legacy.
A good illustration of Justice Wood's contribution to the development of the law is international antitrust law. When she began work in this area, the very idea of international antitrust law was something of a joke or regarded as wishful thinking. But today, as we live in an age of global social media and financial institution giants, the questions are very central ones, and she helped us pay attention to this starting early enough to where perhaps we have a chance to get the answers right.
In addition to having a specialty in antitrust, she still teaches civil procedure classes, and I regularly get phone calls from her saying, "Katie, I have a cool personal jurisdiction story that I want to share with you." I'm like, "Great, I love personal jurisdiction, tell me all about it."
Diane served as Chief Judge with honor and distinction, how she does with everything that she touches in the law.
One case at a time, over the more than 25 years that she's been a judge, has left an important and very positive mark on American law.
When I think about what legacy my mother might have, there are many people who would see that as her judicial contributions, but I think that one of the most impactful legacies that she will leave is her devotion to her law clerks, the people who she was hiring, the voices who she has been trying to support and to raise.